Hi guys, this is Ken with MinnoTank, and I have the co-founders Robert Blacklidge and Jen Gronek of courseAlign.io, and they're here to tell us what's your why. This segment focuses on the passion of what gets you out of the bed in the morning. Why is this the only thing in the world you need to be doing right now? So guys, what's your why?
My degree is in statistics, and I geek out over it. When I took my first statistics class, I broke the curve. I was that outlier, but the professor had to exclude me so that he could curve everything else. And it was the same way my entire degree. I hit pi mu epsilon my last semester. I loved it. So I geek out on.
Can you ask what that is?
Pi mu epsilon is the honorary society for mathematics students. And I also believe in continuing education. I'm constantly trying to learn new things in machine learning, in artificial intelligence, in data architecture, so on and so forth. So that's my passion. That's what I geek out about. But I graduated and I was so ready to get a job in my degree, in my field. And I spent just shy of 2 years. I spent over a year and a half on my couch applying for jobs and going to interviews and getting calls, and nothing stuck.
A year and a half? That's a lot of your life.
A year and a half of I was part-time at the university, but it wasn't a grown-up job. It was just basically a glorified intern program, and I only got it because of intentional serendipity. So eventually, and part of that is I am very introverted, so I did not put myself out there as much as I should have. And I finally realized this, and I put myself outside of my comfort zone, and I started becoming more involved in the local data science community, and going to meetup groups and lectures and the whole thing. And that is how Robert and I met. And he approached me because I had shared that experience with this group of people at a hackathon, and he said, "Hey, I might have this opportunity for you. You'll totally get it." And so because I was so frustrated and really honestly depressed for that year and a half, I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody else. I really feel that you should be able to graduate and get a job in the field that you're passionate about, that you geek out about. That's the dream, right? And I don't want that to happen to anybody else.
So Robert, what is your passion? What's your why about, why you have to be doing courseAlign?
So you have to go back years for me, right?
Time machine.
11 years to get an undergraduate degree.
Oh yeah, it took me 15.
15 years. Because I don't think that it's provided a whole lot of value to me. 200 credits, 2 classes that I think provided me value. And that's not a knock on education, because I think educators do a phenomenal job. It just didn't speak to me. I didn't think that I connected with the classes I was taking. I wasn't pursuing something that I was passionate about. Jen found something she wanted, and she finally latched on and loved it, right? I found a value when I got to an MBA program in entrepreneurial leadership. I latched on, ate it up, loved the heck out of it. It was an accelerated MBA program. I started companies. I mean, it was like this little flame that I had always held in the back of my head, in my heart, blew up. It was incredible. It was an amazing experience. And I truly understood the value of education and what it was worth at this point. And I graduated with the expectation that I could get a job following passion. But I entered a market that was so jaded by the fact that education wasn't providing people with basic skills, that every job I applied for required experience. And I didn't have the experience. Mind you, I have over 10 years of working experience in management, in a lot of different fields. I was in the military. It wasn't that I didn't have working experience. I just didn't have the experience of the roles that required an MBA. So I didn't get any calls from the 100+ jobs that I applied for. It was an entrepreneurial MBA, right? So I started a company. I started a web development company because I had experience doing websites, and I figured the problem here is experience. So let's hire people right out of these programs. I have enough experience in this field. It should be easy enough to get them from basic to, enough experience where they can go follow something and work for somebody else. And it really was an eye-opener for me. I brought on individuals who had no skills. And as a small business owner, you cannot have someone in your business who does not provide you value on day one.
Couldn't agree more.
It doesn't work. You can't afford it. It blew me away, and I realized we had a much, much bigger problem. When 98% of the market of jobs when 98% of jobs are from small and medium businesses, 60% of high-tech jobs come from small and medium businesses, and you can't find employees that have the basic skills to do the job, there's a major problem. So I sought out to fix it by teaching. I developed a Python course for data science to provide people with the skills to get jobs, right, to pursue their passion.
Right.
7 people at a time, 12 weeks, and they left with just enough skills to get the jobs. Not scalable, right? Not going to solve the problem of the world of this, we're having. And I started thinking about how I could do this. I spent 6 months mulling over some concepts, moved from Omaha to Tampa in the time, and came up with this idea that we could do small scope projects that small and medium businesses could pay for, that universities could train people on. Big HR problem, right? Complicated mess. But I went on this amazing experience called the Startup Bus, which is kind of like a startup weekend, which is an event where all these people get together. If you have an idea, you pitch it. If people like it, they come together and they work with you on it. The biggest drawback to a startup weekend is that people get tired and they leave. And so you start with like 15, 20 people and you end up with like 5. That's kind of depressing if you had a bunch of people with you and they all go and then you pitch.
It's fine.
But on the bus, nobody can go anywhere. You're stuck traveling across the country.
And I had high school weekend. You got to stay here, You really
game on, right? I had a phenomenal team. We really, in 4 hours, found this HR idea wasn't going to work. I pitched it. They got together with me. Main concept was that the education system was broken. We made a bunch of phone calls to a bunch of educators. And we were this close. Talk about intentional serendipity. This close. The 3 of us, 3 on a 4-man team, were done. We were going to go do fintech. And the one guy was on the phone with the dean. He gets off the phone. He's like, guys, they're trying to change their education right now. They are having meetings to try to adjust their curriculum, but they don't know what to change it to. Everything's out of date. They can't agree on what to teach. They have no idea. And the light bulb went off. Being from a data science background, I was like, we can provide a real-time data on the market needs, and we can tell what their curriculum and how it aligns. And in 3 days on a bus traveling across the country, we built a functioning prototype and pitched it, made it to the finals. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Truly phenomenal.
Goosebumps when you talk about it, because that's like the beautiful journey is, right? You have it upon like an obvious TAM, you find it and you say like, they're trying to fix this right now. No, we have that problem right now. I am the one in charge of it. I have the budget. Please help me.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it was so incredible. We had a pilot signed up. We had a functioning product. We pitched it. We made it to the finals. And this is the beauty of the bus. We lost, right?
There's no winning, right?
So there's no prize.
There's no prize.
There's no prize.
So
but
there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
The beauty of the bus is it's the purest, most organic entrepreneur experience that you will ever go on. And you realize that it was about the people you met and the experience you went on. But what it left me with was this incredible foundation for a company. And I came back, and like most weekends, the people that work with you go back, realize that life is there and they need to go back to what they were with. So my team went back to it, and I just happened to meet Jennifer. Just happened to
Intentional
literally
serendipity.
the last thing of the night. I was almost on my way home, and she was sitting there, and I just happened to overhear her talking about it. I was like, hey, there's a problem that I completely agree with, like, and I'm working to fix it. We should work together on resolving this. And we got together. My team, the team that I had on the bus went off. We started working together. We were going to spend a year on this, right? Developing it out. I have some development skills. She's a developer. And in the end of November, we won a pitch contest. We got some prize money. That same weekend, we got into an accelerator in Tampa.
Wow.
Like, mind blown. So what went from a year went to like a couple months. We really kicked off in November. It's the end of January, and we have a functioning product that we have deliverables to St. Pete next month. And we're working with a community college to do analysis on their curriculum. Like, that is in, like, I don't even know. Like, how do you talk about, and like, how do you not believe that there is something pushing you in some direction when you push that intent? Like, you say, I'm going to make this, I'm going to go in this direction, I'm going to take efforts to resolve this. Serendipity is alive and thriving in the world. And that's why persistent passion, right? 2 years I've been driving after this, chasing this ever since I graduated. And then intent and serendipity, right? You put the intent out there and the world just, it is crazy. It is, there's nothing else like it.
And one of the things I'll say is, one of the ways that we choose which companies are appropriate to pitch on MinnoTank is a lot based on traction. And so you remember I had a conversation with you a little while ago, and we don't use time because like people will watch us later. But a while back we had a conversation. We were trying to weigh whether or not it was a good option, and we were still trying to figure out, have you had traction? Are you there? Do you think is this the right product market fit? You're still trying to figure it out. And then when I recently caught up with you, I said, you're ready to explode. You're ready, your bubble, right? Like you have 15 plus, I'm using fake numbers because I can't remember, but you have several schools that are looking to pilot these kind of things. There's obvious $1 billion market. Education is never going away. It's quite actually a paramount aspect of our society. And it's just also logical. And what I love to like harp on is, this is really the beauty of tech companies, right? It's a good old fashioned broken system that has a lot of misaligned pieces, and we simply connect the Legos. We say, okay, so you really need the data from over there to make smarter decisions. Great, let us do that for you. Let us do it at scale.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was easily the longest "What's your why?" But I think it's worth listening. Awesome. The way to feel your passion is really to distill this, give you that entrepreneurial spirit. You guys, I've never heard people use serendipity as much as you guys, so I love it. I love it. Okay, so that's Robert Blacklidge and Jen Gronek. One more thing.
Yeah, totally random. I used to work at it. So during my 2 years of no job, I was working part-time at a cafe called Serendipity. You guys really need like cups to just like say serendipity. Like that's just